I am so excited. This is the birth vlog on my free birth that I had on Father's Day. I have finally gotten my home birth, and it was a free birth. A free birth is a birth that is without medical teams, no midwife, no doctor. You can have your support people, a doula, things of that nature, but there are no medical representatives there for your birth. I think is, you're doing everything on your own, basically. I knew that I wanted to do a free birth my entire pregnancy. So I knew I wanted to do a free birth. This was my fourth pregnancy. I don't always suggest free births for everybody because it's not for everybody. And it's something that you have to decide for yourself if that's something that you want to do, because there is nobody that is going to be checking you, doing all of those things. You have to do it all yourself. There's nobody catching the baby. You're doing it yourself. I was going to my prenatal appointments, but I probably only went to like 3 of them. I mostly would go to my ultrasounds that I needed to go to. But for the most part, the doctor's appointments were kind of mundane and redundant because, again, fourth pregnancy, I know what we're doing. I know how to check my weight at home. I know how to check my vitals at home. I had the blood pressure cuff. I had a glucose monitor to check my glucose just in case, anything was going on. I had a Doppler. I had everything I needed at the house. I would go for my blood work and I would go for my ultrasounds, things that I felt like mattered because, again, trying to pack up 2 toddlers to go to the doctor and sit there for an hour before you're seen and only seen for 5 minutes to ask me how I'm doing, which is not in my bingo card. That doesn't mean that works for everybody. And just because you have a free birth doesn't mean you don't have to go to your appointments. I just chose not to do that. It just was not for me. And I think with any birth and with any pregnancy, you have to do what works best for you and what you feel works best for you. Getting ready for the birth. I have never been a person that has gone past 38 weeks. Never gone past 38 weeks. And I have been saying the whole pregnancy, I'm not going past 38 weeks. It didn't work out that way. Because, again, birth and labor does not always work out the way you want it to. And so you have to be prepared to roll with the punches. And I had to get prepared to roll with the punches because I tried everything that I could to get her to come out on the 19th. I did the midwife's brew. I was on the ball. I was working out. All the things, what got the baby in to get the baby out. None of that worked. She was not budging. The crazy part is I was having contractions, but by the morning, those contractions stopped. So she was playing with me. That's girls for. On the 20th, we kept laughing. We were saying we were not going into Monday. We were having that baby that weekend. And I always say you speak things into existence. I had been speaking into existence that I was going to have a home birth, a successful home birth, healthy for both me and baby. I've been speaking that into existence. But I also was saying that I was going to have a Father's Day baby. Like she was going to be the Father's Day gift. I didn't have to buy no gift. I think it's so funny that I kept saying that because the morning of Father's Day, here comes my baby girl. So the 20th, that Saturday, we were like, okay, we're not going past this weekend. So we all went running. I took my big 38-week behind out there running and curb walking. We only ran for like a mile, but I was literally running. Yeah, I was pushing that stroller and running because I just knew I was going into labor that weekend. Like I wasn't playing with, I wasn't trying to go into another week. And my other thing is because I never go past 38 weeks. Now my babies are always measuring big. She was already measuring 2 weeks ahead. So if I continued to grow her in utero, then she was going to get bigger and bigger. Girl, who about to keep holding this and carrying this? Because I was already over it. She was heavy. She had already dropped. I felt the pressure in my pelvic. It was too much. I wasn't trying to keep going. Okay. People be like, oh, why do you go past 30 weeks? 38. People be like, oh, why you want to go past 38 weeks? Because she's heavy. This is heavy. I'm carrying this and I can't sleep. I'm uncomfortable. Coming out. Evicted. Okay. And so she got her eviction notice. So I was doing the car walking. I drank another round of midwife's brew. Decided to just sit up. When it's so funny, every birth, my partner always seems to go to sleep early. He always seems to go to sleep early and always seems to get it's like his body knows that we're about to go into labor. I was up. I was up watching TV, and I don't normally watch TV, but I was up sitting in our room watching TV, just chilling. It's 1 o'clock. He went to bed at like he would have been like 9 o'clock, which is pretty early for a weekend for him to go to sleep. But he would have been around like 9 something. So I'm just sitting up, just chilling. It was about 11 o'clock, and then I started watching another movie. around 12, I started feeling uncomfortable. So I said, okay, I'm gonna lay down, but I'm gonna still watch this movie because I'm up. I wasn't tired. At 1 o'clock, I was like, oh, I feel these are actually consistent. These are contractions. I feel them. But because the last few days since the 18th, I've been going to sleep with contractions and waking up and there's nothing there. I'm like, okay, cool. It's 1 o'clock. I'm gonna go ahead and go to sleep. I'm gonna try to get me some rest. And anytime that you're in labor, getting ready to do labor, whatever the case may be, get your rest. Get your rest because you don't want to be tired. Okay. My dual sister told me that. She been telling me that that whole time. Girl, rest. Stop trying to do all these things to get this baby out and rest. And you know who wasn't rested? Me. And that's probably why she didn't come out on the 19th, because I'm stressing my body too much to get her to come out. And she's like, I'm not coming into no stressful environments. I finally said, I'm gonna rest. Lay down, watch some TV. I'm chilling, relaxed. Okay. Here come contractions. See what happens? I need to relax to get a contraction. Around that morning at 3 o'clock, it's 3 or 4, I'm reading. It says, hey hun, I've been having consistent contractions for a minute now. Well, since 12-ish. I'll call in the morning. Don't want to wake you just in case they stop. And she texts me back. Yeah, why she texts me back? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. She's in Alabama. She's 4 hours from me. She texts me back and I'm like, wait, why are you even up? Like, go to sleep. She was like, I just heard my phone. I was like, oh, okay. She was like, but call if you need me just in case. My partner, he was rubbing my back and just making me feel comfortable. So I was real comfortable and I was able to go to sleep. Around 6 that morning, I was like, okay, well, they're about 7 minutes apart. I text her again. I was like, they're about 7 minutes apart and I'll call, maybe a little bit later in the morning, because this was now about 4 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, they're about 7 minutes apart. I'll maybe call you in the morning. It's too dark to get on the road now. I didn't want her to get on the road. I called her back. I think I called her back at about, I had to call, it was like 6:30. Yeah. So it said 6:34. I called her back and I said, hey, they are consistent, but I said it's 5:30 where you are. I want you to get some rest. So go ahead and get some rest. And she's like, girl, no, I'm on my way. I was like, no, I want you to get some sleep. You got up with me, text me through the middle of the night, get some rest. She got on the road. And I'm glad she got on the road because from 6:30 to the time I had her was the exact time it took her to get to my house. We still have toddlers. We also have our 7-year-old our 8-year-old, he was 7 at the time. And our 12-year-old, he's out of town. He's on vacation. So he wasn't even here. So we had the 3 younger kids here. Life still has to life, whether I'm in labor or not. They needed to eat. He went to go get them food. And I was like, while he was going to get them food, I was like, oh, well, he's going to Waffle House. I don't really like Waffle House because this pregnancy, I couldn't do fried foods. I couldn't do anything with grease and all that. I could not eat it. It was horrible. So I was like, I don't want a Waffle House. There's nothing at Waffle House that I eat. I don't want it. I'm gonna make me something to eat. I'm gonna make some oatmeal. I love oatmeal. That's something that can stick on my stomach. I don't know how long this is going to progress, but I'm gonna make some oatmeal. The kids can have the oatmeal as well, plus, what he gets them from Waffle House, because they eat Waffle House. I don't. Yeah, I'm in here making oatmeal in active labor. Why am I making oatmeal in active labor? Again, not rested. But in my head, they need to eat. Yeah, I made that oatmeal and didn't even eat it. It just sat on the stove. Around 7 ish. By the time I started making the oatmeal, probably the oatmeal finished, I wasn't even hungry no more. I wasn't trying to eat nothing. And I'm always a firm believer of eating in labor. I've eaten in all of my labors. Every last one of them. I've eaten, had me something to drink. I'm not doing that, not eating a thing. I didn't even want the food. And I was pissed off because I really wanted that oatmeal beforehand. But I didn't get it. He got back, fed the kid. The whole time he was gone, because y'all know Waffle House take a long time. The whole time he was gone, I think I made a TikTok video. Because I saw the video back. I played it back. My eyes looked like I was in so much pain. But I made a couple TikTok videos. And I was just walking around in our bedroom. We had rearranged our bedroom. Because again, I knew I was having that home birth. So we rearranged our bedroom to where we had space for me to labor in the bedroom. Just walking around looking at my affirmations and things of that to just like get me through it, because they really, I'm hitting active labor. it's hitting, okay? It's hitting them contraction. I wasn't even using a contraction timer no more. I was just like, bump that bull. I know I'm in labor. This is actually it. It's morning time. I'm still in labor, and this getting me. But I did have my tens unit, and the tens unit didn't work because the way she was positioned, I felt that in my butt. Okay, it was not in my uterus. It was in my butt. There's not much comfort measures that you could do for feeling pain in your ass. There wasn't nothing I could do, so I was just feeling it, just in my ass. It was horrible, but her positioning was the reason why it was back there instead of in the front. My tension, it did help quite a bit, and breathing helped a bit. I had to breathe. I was on my ball. When he got back and everybody finished eating, he got the kids situated up front. They were chilling. They were minding their business. Playing in their little play area, watching Paw Patrol. He came in the back and he was, helping me through the things that was going on. I remember one point I was laying on the bed. He tried to have me one of the kids' balls to like squeeze it, and I think I threw it. I was like, I don't want this. But then I was like, oh no, give me that back. That was actually clutch. So he was really, really good. Like he really was my doula through the whole process. And that was amazing to have. Now, I will say it's so funny. When I hit active labor, I was like, hey, I need you to put on some Kirk Franklin. Like, for some reason, that gospel music. And the crazy part, I be having a whole music playlist. Gospel don't be nowhere near on it. Okay. It'd be like my neo soul type of music. Gospel music don't be nowhere near on it. But I told him I was sitting there on the ball facing him, and on my wall I had all of my affirmations. He's facing the TV. So he's looking at me like trying to rub my shoulders and everything, and I'm facing him. And I was like, I need you to put on Kirk Franklin. But I just let go. I let go and I started singing it, and that helped me through. I was in transition just so much yet. I think I hit transition about 9 a.m. Now this labor is going, y'all. This labor is going. And so constantly going back and forth, talking to my sister because she's still driving. She let me know when she hit Atlanta, and then now she's like, okay, well, I'm near. She was like an hour out, and I finally got in the tub. I wasn't really planning to do a water birth, but I had the stuff to do a water birth, and I didn't get a pool because I have 2 large tubs in my house. So I was like, I'm gonna just put the liner in the tub, and I'm gonna get in the tub. And so we did that. I got in the tub, and that's when I hit transition, when I got in the tub, because I was like, the singing, the music, all the things, it's not working anymore. I need some water therapy. Got in there, and y'all, that hot water, that hot water was beautiful. Because again, most of my contractions was so it's not much I can really do, but that water did it. Having back labor, 0 out of 10 would not recommend. I was able to like eat and drink again. He was still bringing me water, bringing me ice, because I have a thing with ice. I love ice. Whatever. I'm anemic. I don't care. I love ice, and I'm gonna eat it. Okay, go right on up to the little thing to get the big bag of ice for $2. Yes, I will. So he was bringing me ice, bringing me water, because I again did not want to eat. I didn't make any like my granola bars. I like to make my granola bars. I didn't make any of that, so I didn't really have any of that, and I didn't want to eat. So he was bringing me water and everything, and again, making TikTok videos, because once I got into that water, I felt good. So I was back to making my videos. Okay, and acting like a crazy person. And in the midst of those videos, the contractions were still hitting, and they were still rough, and they were still in my butt. I was able to manage them because again, it's a mental thing. Like my third baby, I did do a transfer because I wasn't there. I was not prepared to have him. He was a back to back it was 13 months shy of just having another baby. I wasn't there mentally, but this one I had to really like put in my mind, okay, Shanique, you can do this. It got to a point where I was on the phone with her and I dropped my phone in the water because I had a contraction and it dropped. He called her and I was like, yo, I can't, I can't do this anymore. And I remember telling him like, I can't do this. I can't do this no more. I don't have it. And he was like, yes, you do. He was like, we having this baby right here. One, he didn't want to go to the hospital. And he knew I didn't want to go to the hospital. He was like, you got this. You can do it. We're not going to the hospital. And I just kept going back for it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Every time a contraction, I was like, I can't do it. Like, I just kept saying, I can't do it. And I think at one time he was on the phone with her and she was like, no, stop saying that. You can do this. and you got this, like everything is okay. Like they both trying to tell me, like, girl, shut up. Stop saying you can't do. When you start crying, like something out of you. She said she was close. She was like, I'm pulling up soon. I was like, nah, girl, I'm pushing. Like, she getting ready to come out. And the crazy part is I had always said, I'm gonna hold her in until she got there. I said, you gonna be here and to see me deliver this baby. You're gonna be here with me to deliver this baby. He was like, hey, I need you here because I'm not catching the baby. She would just laugh and laugh, laugh. And he was like, no, I'm serious, I'm not catching the baby. Sister, like, I need you here type thing. So I was like, I'm not pushing this baby out until you get here. So funny. I kept saying, hey, I'm pushing, I'm pushing, I'm pushing. She was like, I think I'm gonna miss it. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're not missing this birth. You're not gonna miss it. And she was like, the way you're sounding, like, I think I'm gonna miss it. So it was really funny. She pulled up. She was like, hey, I'm outside. He went to get the door. Before she got there, I got out of the tub because I was like, I really have to use the bathroom. And she was like, you don't have to use the bathroom. I said, yes, I do. Because again, everything was in my butt. So I was like, yes, I do. I went and sat on the toilet. Did not use the bathroom. Being on that toilet, y'all, if you've ever been in labor or you know anything about being in labor or you're pregnant, sit on that toilet. Sit on that bad boy. Your baby ain't gonna come out in the toilet, but you better sit on that thing because Jabu. That relieved so much pressure. I think right when she walked in, walked in and came into the bathroom. She didn't even get in the house good. So I was like, I got up and I got up off the toilet. I said, oh, no, I need to get back to that tub. I was like, is she coming out? Like, I feel it and this is too much and I needed the water. So he had turned the water hose on my back to kind of help with the pressure and help with the water therapy. And she kept telling me, she was like, look, you cannot have this baby in the water and then get out. Like, you're gonna have to decide, are you gonna be in the water or you're gonna be out the water because you don't want your baby to drown. And the way the tub was, it was not enough water in the tub for me to do a water birth. So as I was pushing her out, she was like, oh, I see the head. I said, no, I feel her head coming out. Like, I felt it. I felt the pop. Like, it was like a balloon pop. Like, it was just like a pop. And I was like, oh, that's her head. And they looked. My sister and my spouse looked and was like, oh yeah, that's her head. She out. And so I got out of the tub just because there was not enough water for me to do a water birth. I got out of the tub. By the time I got onto and mind you, I'm stepping out of a tub with a baby's head coming out. Neither here nor there. But I got out of the tub and I bent down. And I always said I wanted to do hands and knees to deliver. But I bent down, I got on my knees, and the rest of her came out. She was a little stuck. Okay, her shoulders a little stuck a little bit. So what I did is I put my leg up, kind of did like a lunge, and she slid right out, and I was able to, get her, whatever the case may be. My sister was behind me, he was in front of me, and I was able to get her. She was delivered at 10.
Hey,
Well, her head came out at
oh, there
10:49,
she
but she
go.
was delivered at
Good.
10:51 a.m. on Father's Day. So I have a Father's Day baby. That was his Father's Day gift. And I think her placenta was about 30 minutes, not even 30 minutes later, because we went to the bed, we delivered the placenta. We did delayed cord clamping. So we waited until it stopped pulsating. We did about an hour. I did not want to do a lotus birth. I've always thought about doing a lotus birth, but I did not want to do one. I was like, I'll just wait until it's done pulsating. And that was about an hour. He was able to cut the umbilical cord. It was very beautiful. I had all of the necessary things. I had the cord clamping. I had the scissors, everything you needed for a home birth. So it was very easy to do the gloves, all of that. And we had a scale. So we measured her. She was 8 pounds, 9 ounces. She was 20.5 inches long. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. It was very surreal that I actually did it. But the actual boop, her coming out, that was easy. Like that ring of fire, I did not feel the ring of fire personally. And I did not tear. So that was good. Placenta came out beautifully. He did a lot of things in the capacity of a doula. I don't even remember what I ate afterwards, but I do know he did he did cook some food. He brought me some food. He cleaned up everything before the placenta even came out. The house was clean. Like he wasn't playing no games with that blood and all that stuff because there's a lot of stuff that came out. And I was able to take my first bath after my placenta came out. Like as soon as my placenta came out, probably like 20 minutes after that, my sister was like, okay, go ahead, go get in the bath. Like, and she was like, I'm gonna sit here with the baby, but you can go ahead and get in the tub and wash up. Because we know I'm not about to be sitting in the blood. Ain't nobody about to be doing all of that. Got in the tub, very easy. And I just really feel like this whole birth was so much easier than any of my other four. My first birth was traumatic. It was a horrible birth. Horrible. It was the reason why I became a doula. My second and third birth was traumatic. Well, the third one wasn't traumatic. The second one was only traumatic because it was not what I wanted. I had to do an emergency C-section. It was not what I wanted. And the third one was fine. I just transferred to the hospital. Crazy enough, another video, my doctor who found out that I had my baby called the social worker on me because she was like, "You had a baby at home and you did all of this and you didn't come into the hospital." So she called the social worker on me. Like, and she's like, "You didn't get your baby checked out?" I said, "My baby has her appointment coming up." Neither here nor there, that's another video. It's the story of my home birth, my unassisted free birth. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience. I'm so glad to have my partner and my sister there, um, just to help me through it and to talk me through it and to get me through this. It's an experience. It's an experience, and I loved every bit of it, and I'm so thankful for it. But yeah, thanks for listening.